first half. I heard Owen and JMO talking about it in the studio there. Much better in the second half, more pace, more passion. The drive of Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, they finished the game very well. Let's see if they can start this game in the same type of vein.
Another big crowd here in the sunshine. It's been blessed with good weather. Big turnout supporting Galatasaray from expatriates living in London from Turkey. Let's have a look at the Arsenal side today, shall we? And their only signing so far this summer, the French under-20 World Cup winning striker Yaya Sanogo makes his first appearance in front of the Gunners fans here. And Santi Cazorla, late back on duty because of the Confederations Cup earlier on in the summer, gets his first Arsenal run-out of the season. Theo Walcott among 7 new starters today.
Yeah, I think we know what type of formation Arsenal play. It's interesting to see how Sanya and Mertesacker link up today, because they had problems defensively yesterday. Arteta, Ramsey, central midfield, and it's really nice to see Santi Cazorla back with the pace. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, and of course, as you said, great to see Sanogo. He's got a huge future ahead of him.
As for Galatasaray, number 27 there, who was popular for most of his time as an Arsenal player, Emmanuel Eboué. As we were saying, he's the captain today. Another ex-Premier League man, Albert Riera, once of Liverpool and Manchester City, has a new career as a left-back now. Star men Didier Drogba and Wesley Sneijder both played 83 minutes yesterday, so predictably they are on the bench for this one. But it's a decent side, quarter-finalists in the Champions League last season. Yeah,
it is a decent side, you're right, Ian. Very experienced as well. They'll play a 4-4-2. We know all about Elmander and Balut. Yes, they're missing Yilmaz and Didier Drogba up front, so this is not a full-strength side, but it will be a big test for Arsenal. I'm looking forward to seeing this game. It's a great atmosphere.
1 or 2 changes, as you'd expect from yesterday. The referee is John Moss, and great new addition this season. Welcome along, former Premier League referee Mark Halsey. Tell us about John Moss then.
Yeah, John Moss is starting his third season on to the select group list. Had a bit of an indifferent start last season, but as I say, there's no hiding place in the Premier League, and I think now he's coming through. He's had that experience now 3 years, and I think he's coming through to do a good job. Let's hope he gets the game run. It's going to be difficult for him. He's just got to referee it like a European football match.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Mark Halsey will call on if there are big controversial talking points. There's the new boy Yaya Sanogo, who scored 4 goals helping France to win the Under-20 World Cup earlier this summer. He's Arsenal's only new buy so far. And Eboué, right back and captain for Galatasaray. Yesterday he got a hero's welcome from the Arsenal fans every time he touched the ball. Wasn't the case every single time he played for Arsenal in his later time with the club, but that's another story. Arsene Wenger still pretty guarded about where he is with Luis Suarez. The bid's on the table, but he says, I'm confident that the players we have can be title contenders anyway. And that will be an ongoing talking point. As Jake and the boys were telling you in the studio, if Arsenal should win this game, they will win this Emirates Cup again. It's quite a complicated system, mind you. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, but 1 point for every goal you score as well. I don't think it's ever going to catch on in the real leagues, but it's a bit of pre-season fun, really. And straight away, Arsenal could be in here. Sanogo, can he mark his first involvement with a goal here? He nearly did.
Yeah, and he showed a little bit of inexperienced there, but you can imagine his eyes must have lit up. Yes, he could have played in Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yes, he could have let Aaron Ramsey take the shot on. But what a start for the young kid.
It's a bad mistake by Felipe Melo, who scored from the spot yesterday at the other end of the pitch. That could have been something. It's the first glimpse of him, really, for the Arsenal fans. Of course, all the publicity is about higher profile players, but this young fella did pretty well playing in the French second division last year, and he scored 9 goals in 13 appearances for Auxerre.
Suffice to say, and I think he's a talented boy. Talking about talented people, there's Didier Drogba and Wesley Sneijder. We all know about them. European football. For Arsenal, it's about the younger kids, it's about Sanogo, it's about Zelalem, it's about the future.
Is Amrabat, who did start yesterday as well. In fact, 5 of yesterday's starters start again here for Galatasaray, whose preparations for this tournament included games against League One teams Notts County and Shrewsbury Town away from home. Here is Eboué. Kayar at the back, who played most of the Champions League games last season. 22-year-old defender, they like him. The challenge there to stop Theo Walcott's run. Walcott was a sub yesterday. Arsenal's top scorer last season with 21. Gunners found themselves 2-0 down at half-time to Napoli yesterday, pulled it back to 2-2. It was a good comeback, but there were 1 or 2 defensive errors in that first half. Santi Cazorla, it's his first involvement. He didn't go on the Tour of Asia, understandably, because he'd been involved with Spain at the Confederations Cup in Brazil, so late back for pre-season, as is the way. Yesterday, Galatasaray won their game against Porto by a 1-0 in a match of 4 penalties, only 1 of which was taken. There's Fatih Terim, the great coach of Galatasaray, who took Turkey to the semi-finals of the European Championships in 2008. Numerous titles, massive experience.
Oh yeah, he's a living legend, isn't he?
Attack-minded as well, isn't he? Generally speaking, some people say too attack-minded.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And Sanya, who's central defender today. By the way, Jack Wilshere, who played 70 minutes yesterday, is not going to be involved in any way today. He's being rested completely, not even on the bench. Is Sanogo again, lanky figure. Kieran Gibbs joining in. He started as well yesterday. Sanogo quite involved, actually. Chamberlain working it through. They want a penalty kick. They're not going to get one there, and we might get Mark Halsey's view on that one in a moment. It was Ramsey who went down in the box.
Yeah, on first impressions, you actually thought Kieran Gibbs should have struck it with his right foot. I know it's not traditionally right-footed.
What do you think, Mark?
No, my first impression it wasn't a penalty. You just look at Aaron Ramsey's reactions as well. Didn't even appeal for a penalty, did he?
Yeah.
I think John Moss has made a great decision there. He's got that totally right. He's contacted his own feet. He's initiated his own contact with his own feet. Yeah,
if anything, Mark, he seems to kick the back of Emmanuel Aboui's leg, doesn't he, as he comes in to defend?
That's what I say. He initiated the first contact, and I think John Moss has made a great decision.
Tournament, Arsenal starting fast. Ramsey involved again. There it's Melo who gets it behind for Galatasaray, who really gave Barcelona a bit of a scare in the second leg of the quarter-finals of the Champions League last season. Real Madrid, I should say. Season starting just under 2 weeks' time. Home to Aston Villa. Before that, Arsene Wenger takes his team on yet another flight to Helsinki, where they play Manchester City next weekend. Good vibe about the City camp when we were with them in Munich this week. Lost 2-1 to Bayern Munich, but gave a pretty good account of themselves, missing a fair few chances in that game. Alex Oxlade Chamberlain only got 2 goals last season. I want to improve on that this time around, and of course it's likely to be a massive year for him on the England front as well. Is Riera. You'll remember him from his Liverpool days, Macca.
Yes, of course I do. Albert Riera, Emmanuel Abui now playing the trade defensive areas of the Galatasaray side.
Been converted from left winger to left back these days. I don't know quite what that means or how he interprets it. I guess he's happy just to get a game in the starting lineup. Went to Olympiacos, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Originally, where he was fated. There were hundreds of people waiting at the airport for him. I think he was amazed.
I think as neutrals are, Darky, we'd like Arsenal to do well, considering they've got Theo Walcott, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jack Wilshere.
Here's Walcott again. And some disarray early on here, Galatasaray, giving the ball away in midfield. Can Arsenal take advantage of that, I wonder?
Yeah, there was a nice run by Sanogo. Maybe Theo Walcott should have played him in. It's a good run.
Wasn't going to quite get there. The ball was a bit too long and straight. Is Arteta, captain the side late last season. Thomas Vermaelen lost his place in the starting lineup, and now he's injured with a back injury, not considered for this tournament. Amrabat.
Oxlade-Chamberlain there, just come across. Amrabat gets his body in front of the ball, takes the foul.
Riera, again the delivery not accurate enough. Wearing the number 9 shirt for Galatasaray, the former Bolton striker Johan Elmander, who has scored on this ground for Bolton, but it was in a 4-1 defeat. Melo doing the covering, the Brazilian international. Nicely done by Beita in the middle of the pitch. Free kick goes to Arsenal. "13 days before the start of the season, how ready should the players be by now, Macca?"
Well, personally, they should be certainly 80–90% ready. Ian, I watched a few games yesterday and I thought a few people were a little bit heavy-legged. I thought a few people were a bit heavy. But if it was me, I'd be firing it 13 days before the season, to be very honest.
Here's Hamit Altintop, experienced campaigner formerly of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Now back home in Turkey. Galatasaray got better as the game went on. Yesterday they started pretty ropily, and they have here really too. Here's Melo. On by Bulut there. And Armanda with the job as joint strikers to test the Arsenal defence here. Amrabat. Here's Almanda. Had a lot of injury problems last season, didn't play that often. Easily caught in possession there, Beitar. Breaks on. Here's the new boy, Sanogo. He's made quite a bright start in an Arsenal shirt here, Sanogo. Obviously still a bit raw, and you'd think he's been bought really for cover. You wouldn't think he'd be in the starting 11 at the start of the Premier League season, but he's here to make a case, isn't he?
Of course, and they would love it, Ian. if he turns out to be a Nicholas Anelka in the team at 17, 18 years of age, scoring goals, playing very well. But we have to remember they bought him from Auxerre. He's relatively inexperienced, and he's certainly one for the future in my eyes. But it'd be great if he's an instant success. Of course it will be.
Well, that can happen, can't it? Sometimes the plans don't work out quite the way that the manager was expecting. Players do come through.
Listen, Ian, the man who was sitting in this seat before me was a superstar at 17, scoring goals for Liverpool, so it can certainly happen. What I have realised, Ian, in the initial 12 minutes of the game is when Arsenal do get the ball at the back, like a lot of teams across Europe, they're adopting this style like Bayern Munich. The two centre defenders are splitting really wide, the full-backs are going right up the pitch, and the centre midfielder, and today it's Mikel Arteta, is dropping into the hole between the two centre defenders. It's a style copied off Bayern Munich. Bastian's fine, he does it, and of course, today Mikel Arteta dropped Merseyside is all wide, can't see everyone, and it couldn't fit it up, just quickly see it there, pick the ball up,
the back he could have plenty of energy in those legs. It's become a massive position.
Yeah, yes it is.
Little knock to the head for Santi Cazorla.
As Rafa can't get any reception on his phone like the rest of us.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Maybe he's relaying the news of Napoli's earlier defeat against Porto here. Melo again caught in possession. Walcott tries to find Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. They really do have some speed in forward areas with those two out on the pitch starting. Almanda. Eboué joining in from the right back position. Almanda's continued with his run. Cut out by Cheju, the new signing. In the centre of that defence, the Cameroon international who's arrived from Lille. Per Mertesacker, who started yesterday and starts again today. That's a tribute, obviously, to his level of fitness and conditioning. We've had a close look at all the players and assessed them before making that kind of decision. 2 games in 2 days is an obvious problem for the coaches. Mertesacker, Aaron Ramsey, Carl Jenkinson, Kieran Gibbs all started yesterday and start again today. And in the background, the Suarez saga rumbles on. Olivier Giroud said in an interview with us after the game yesterday that he was expecting another striker to arrive. He didn't know the identity of that striker.
Yeah, but Ian, you'd expect them. They were linked with Higuain and now Suarez.
Almanda trying his luck. Yeah, and they've been linked with a lot of people. They even linked with Wayne Rooney, weren't they? Earlier on in the summer as well. And Stefan Jovetic was a big target. He's ended up at Manchester City.
I can imagine Arsenal to be thinking about bringing in numerous players, Ian. As Owen said, I certainly think they need a centre defender. They've had problems in the goalkeeping position for years and years and years.
A covering central defender, or do you think Mertesacker, Koscielny?
Well, I think it'll be a defender who'll come in and play. I think they need, yeah.
Well, they only let in 5 goals in the last 10 matches last season in the Premier League.
I know. I still think they need a top-class centre defender to improve the team. They just about finished 4th.
With a big finish to the season as well.
Yeah.
1-0 win at Newcastle on the final day. securing that 4th place berth and keeping up Arsene Wenger's record of qualifying for the Champions League season after season. They will have to play a qualifier, though, in the next few weeks. Don't go straight to the group stage if you finish 4th. Galatasaray will, as the Turkish champions. Walcott. Seen a lot of that in this tournament here. Set pieces which do not beat the first defender. It happened all day yesterday, and it's happening a bit again today.
It's funny, that's one of the questions people ask me on the street all the time. Why do they hit the first man?
And the answer is?
I have no idea. Fair enough, you can forgive Theo Walcott that one, but if he does it again and again like people do, and we've seen it before, it drives people crazy. Theo, you've been warned. No more.
Walcott's in behind here and can score. No, he's put it wide. Big chance, goes begging.
What a beautiful move. The only thing wrong with it, fantastic pass by Ramsey. Exquisite touch by Theo. He just flips it wide, doesn't he? What a beautiful pass, beautiful touch. He's acknowledging the pass.
Theo Walcott, who got married during the summer. You might have seen that in some of the gossip magazines and all the pictures.
Yep. Congratulations, Theo.
Yes, congratulations. Some footballers or international ones don't have very long to fit in their wedding days, do they? These days, all the summer tournaments. They're getting 2-3 weeks off, some of them.
Yeah, certainly with the World Cup next year, Ian. Everybody's booking in to get married in the first week in July after the final, hoping to get there.
Basically, you hope you're not free, don't you, next summer, really? Now then, Umut Balut, and well done by Szczesny with his head. Amrabat feeds Beitar. Looks like Slade Chamberlain is there to clear it. Amrabat got in behind Jenkins, and there was a decent looking ball. Nobody on that near post, though.
Do you think that position's still up for grabs, Ian? The Arsenal goalkeeping position?
Well, it could be, couldn't it?
Fabianski yesterday, Szczesny today, Manone at the end of last season.
Who's gone to Sunderland.
Yeah.
One of many signings at Sunderland. Well, they left Szczesny out, didn't they? There was talk about him not being mentally quite right towards the back end of last season. So the answer to your question is probably if the right guy became available. By the way, this meeting between Arsenal and Galatasaray echoes of the 2000 UEFA Cup final, which Galatasaray won on penalties in Copenhagen against an Arsenal team which included Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Vieira, Petit, Ray Parlour, Mark Overmars, Tony Adams. It was a star-studded Arsenal side. It was goalless, the game, though. And in the end, Galatasaray won Turkey's only European trophy at the end of the night. They've never met competitively since then, surprisingly. Here's Arteta across to Mertesacker, up to 90 caps now for Germany. Mertesacker was busy in the summer as well, as Germany went to the United States to play. It's given away. Is Beitar to Elmanda. Amrabat. who showed up well in the Champions League last season against Real Madrid and Manchester United, and one or two good reviews.
Yeah, he did. And remember when he came on against Real Madrid in Istanbul, he was excellent. He did change the game.
Oxlade-Chamberlain to Sanogo, who loses his footing a little embarrassingly. Looks quite colty up there.
So
is Altin top. Amrabat again, they're giving him plenty of service on that left-hand side. Ten points clear they were in Turkey last season. Galatasaray, top scorers, best defence. Fenerbahce a distant second. Sheju under a bit of pressure. And this is Kaya. Altin top. Eboué breaking forward. How he'd love a goal, wouldn't he? Here against Arsenal.
There's Fatty to them. He knows. I think Alton Top should have turned and played that ball into Eboué a couple of seconds before he did. Eboué was through on the back of Santi Cazorla.
Is Amrabat. Balut on the chase, but he doesn't quite get there. Experienced striker, 30 years of age today, who's been signed now permanently from Toulouse in France. Cazorla had a very good, stellar season in his first year at Arsenal in the last campaign. Came up with 12 goals as well. Here he is on the ball again. He was the creator-in-chief, really. Clever little player. Ramsey. It's Cazorla again. Walcott. Quick feet, but crowded out in the end. And away goes the speedy Amrabat. And the free kick is going to go Arsenal's way. He was just snapping away at the heels a bit too physically as far as the referee was concerned, I think. Arteta, very much the defensive midfield player last season for Arsenal. Of course, there's no Alex Song around this season, or last. They had to kind of reinvent Arteta's role a little bit. Would that be another position they might be looking to strengthen and getting in an enforcer type holding midfield player?
No, I don't necessarily think so. I think now in European football, Ian, coaches, managers like to have a deep playing midfielder who's very, very comfortable on the ball, who likes to go and pick it up, who can pick a pass, whose movement is good. You keep going back to Bastian Schweinsteiger. He's not necessarily an enforcer. He just likes to go and get it and start moves, and I think that's what will happen.
Well, Arteta did the job pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Last season.
And I think he's the ideal type of person who'll be able to go there, get the ball, and then try and give it to the likes of Cazorla and the Jack Wilsheres to move forward.
Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Couldn't find Walcott. Found a little pocket of space. Still goalless here between Arsenal and Galatasaray. The winners of this, if there's to be a winner, will be the winners of this Emirates Cup pre-season tournament. Aboué. Wanted more movement ahead of him there. Chastises the two strikers.
Yeah, it surprised me though that he wanted to come inside all the time. I mean, we know that he likes to go onto his right foot. Maybe he's worried the fact that Kieran gives his left foot as he wants to stay away.
Amrabat again. Away by Sanya, picked up by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Again given a central role here. Oxlade-Chamberlain again. Balut to Elmander. Not a lot of tempo in the game at the moment.
No, and you can understand why to a certain extent. It was a frenetic first 10 minutes in, but it has calmed down. They did play yesterday. It's a beautiful day. Probably just getting a second wind at this moment.
There's a bit of a buzz when Santi Cazorla gets the ball, and he's got plenty of grass to move into here. Sonogo making movement ahead of him, and Walcott deeper still. But Muslera, the Uruguayan international goalkeeper, is first to it. No way through for Theo Walcott.
He does his defensive duties well, Amrabat.
We'll be following Liverpool again this week, by the way. They are away in a friendly in Norway against Vålerenga, and you can catch that game with us on Wednesday evening at 5:30 p.m. on BT Sport 1 HD. Theo Walcott's had the best chance today, Macca.
Yes, he has, yes. There's a beautiful pass by Adam Ramsey. You'll see here, good movement by Theo. He goes backwards to come back on side. This was an exquisite first touch, as I said before. And that's what he thought about his finish. Last year they went in, as you said, Ian, 21 goals last year. Just pull that wide.
Saving him up for the season.
Yeah, he's saving him for the bigger games.
And the Galatasaray players, I can't quite see who that is. He's done, might be Beitar. Needing some treatment. Yeah, it is Beitar who's down. He's a player who last season ended up getting banned for 11 games for pushing a referee. Shades of Paulo Di Canio many years ago, Mark.
Yeah, it was. I remember that very well. I think Paul Alcott was the referee, wasn't it? I think he'd been blown down. A gust of wind blew him down.
No one's ever pushed you, have they, Mark? No?
No, they wouldn't dare.
Zengen Beitar there, yeah. Limping off to the side. I think Fatih Terem's telling one of his players to go and get warmed up, so be interesting to see if he could run this injury off or not.
Well, you wouldn't normally take a risk, would you?
No, normally.
Pre-season.
Yeah,
interesting that Galatasaray played against Notts County and Shrewsbury in the League One sides last month.
Yeah, it looks as if Gul Salam's going to come on here in the number 6.
So they are going to make the change by the look of it as soon as they can. He's ready to go, I think, Gul Salam. Ramsey surely won't play the whole 90 minutes having started yesterday. He's a tireless worker, mind you. Just running into trouble there. There haven't been a lot of chances in this so far. And the ball's played out of play so that Galatasaray can make this change.
Galatasaray substitution. 50 Emil Vantar has been replaced by 6 Chonyo Usula.
He moves into the centre of midfield, and Beitar's race is run for today.
Injury.
Here's Ramsey. Covering is good by Kaya. Be a little bit careful going with both feet. He was nowhere near the player there, but it's always a risk to be doing that.
Visually, when we're used to the Premier League, you can't do that. You can't do that.
He was a yard or two away from him at the time. There was no risk, but the referee here is having a word about that. Mark, what's your view of that?
I mean, the rule of thumb in the Premier League is if you make a challenge like that and you get the ball, it's a yellow card. But so I think John Moss has done well there. He's had a chat with him, he's calmed it down, he's managed the situation very well.
Yeah, I think he's understood the situation, hasn't he, Mark?
Yeah, definitely, Macca, done well there. He's in tune with the game.
Voice of Mark Halsey will be joining us this season for our live matches in the Premier League, giving his expert view on refereeing controversies and flashpoints. Here's Walcott. Melo got the challenge in. This one does beat the first defender. Now it's Cazorla. Flicked on by Sanya, should be no problem at all for Muslera. A World Cup semi-finalist, of course, with Uruguay. Whether he'll be at the World Cup again next summer, pretty much open to question. Uruguay are, well, dicing with danger a bit in that South American group.
Yeah, when I watched them during the Confederations Cup, Ian, they were impressive near the end of the tournament, and I would suggest that the nearer it gets to the World Cup finals, the likes of Cavani, Forlan and Luis Suarez will certainly find their shooting boots, and they should be okay.
If they get there.
If they get there.
So far, Wojciech Szczesny, the goalkeeper, just that one-headed clearance to make. He hasn't had a save to make, but then Muslera has no movement. A lot more to do either. And can Arsenal just step it up a little here? Oxlade-Chamberlain onto the ball now. Kept it in play just.
As you can hear that noise of cacophony of boos, Ian suggests there he is. Enemy of Arsenal.
Yeah, the scourge of Arsenal, Didier Drogba. 13 goals in 14 appearances against the Gunners.
Oh, what a centre forward he is.
Might be a shrewd bit of work that by Galatasaray, signing him from his Chinese club. He got 5 goals in 10 games at the back end of last season, and yesterday, to be honest with you, he looked about the best player on the pitch when we saw him. Whether he'll come on at half-time, don't know. Hope so.
Yes, so do I. And Wesley Sneijder was warming up with him, Ian, had a shot. Be nice to see him as well, a man of his calibre.
He would certainly add some craft and class to the occasion. Walcott did well there. Nice feet, got in a decent cross. Nobody that deep, though.
He did really well, actually. Arsenal just have to gamble and put more people into the box. There's Sneijder.
who scored against Notts County and Shrewsbury.
What a double to have in.
Yeah,
what a double to have.
Well, they'd be great. The fans there, it'd be great to see players like that.
Bet he's never scored against them before.
He might never again either. Here's Gibbs. Yes, Notts County had that big showpiece game for the Juventus anniversary, didn't they? All that stuff about,
of course,
the Notts County shirts.
It's great to see, though. It's great to see. Real Madrid play Bournemouth.
Yes.
You like games like that. Monaco went to Leicester. I love seeing the big sides playing all these teams, getting acclimatised to different countries and different games.
Here's Aaron Ramsey. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Sanogo was in there, didn't quite arrive at him. Will be a corner.
Yeah, good touch by Cheju, and he needed to get there as well. Nice ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Cheju stretches that long right leg out to clear the danger.
Taken quickly, back to Arteta. Goes a long way, he goes in! Theo Walcott has scored in almost, well, in his eyes, miraculous circumstances.
Yeah, not much reaction from Arsene Wenger. It was a simple cross in. Felipe Melo tries to head it clear, misses it. Maybe he unsights Fernando Muslera in the Galatasaray goal. There's nothing going on here. Simple cross, Felipe Melo misses it, unsights Fernando Muslera, curls into the far post. Muslera's going back on his heels, can't get across. Be interesting to see what Jamo's got to say about that in the studio.
Third pre-season goal for Theo Walcott. Seen those a few times, haven't we? They're a nightmare for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he missed a good chance earlier on, Theo. He's atoned for it now. It's Fernando Muslera.
By the way, Muslera's goalkeeping coach is the Brazilian Claudio Tafarel, who was Galatasaray's goalkeeper the night they beat Arsenal on penalties in that UEFA final all those years ago. Gul Salem. And then Amrabat.
Yeah, he was linked to it. I moved to Barcelona a couple of months ago, Muslera.
Yeah.
So they've got a very high opinion of him.
Slightly embarrassing for Fernando Muslera, but he is one of the better goalkeepers in the world. Didn't think he was in top form at that Confederations Cup. One or two shaky moments there. The Barcelona story seemed to go away as quickly as it arose, didn't it? To be honest.
Maybe it was his agent, Ian.
They're talking about Pepe Reina, weren't they, going to Barcelona? That never happened. He wound up at Napoli, and we saw him here yesterday. Carl Jenkinson lays it inside. Cazorla to Gibbs. Still keeps it. Cazorla must be offside against Sanogo. It is, yeah.
Yeah, nice work by Kieran Gibbs. Santi Cazorla, as you said, Ian, you can see from here he was a yard offside. Nice play by Arsenal, lovely pass by Santi Cazorla, that's what he brings.
I think you might see an improvement from Galatasaray a bit later when they bring on Drogba and Schneider, and star signings. Just had to tweak their formation a bit in the middle of last season because of that, to make sure that Schneider was in his favoured number 10 role behind the two strikers.
Yeah, we know Arsenal are missing a few players, but Galatasaray are missing their two top men up front, aren't they? When they have Yilmaz and Drogba, they are a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Yilmaz is injured for this,
yeah.
by the way, in case anybody was wondering. 8 goals in the Champions League he got last season, which was as many as Lionel Messi. Melo. Contest that between Carl Jenkinson and Amrabat. Jenkinson needs to get out of trouble there. He had an unfortunate moment yesterday with a miscued header that led to a goal for Napoli early on. Yeah,
and yesterday, Ian, Arsenal were defensively weak in the first 45 minutes. And they're much better today, much stronger, much more organised.
Cazorla just behind Walcott. And Gibbs win that on that far side. Yes, he has to. And boy, he was so clever there. The ball was given away, and here's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Sanogo. And the crowd are willing him to score and make a bit of an impression.
A lovely little touch by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Awkward shot by Sanogo.
A lot of the Arsenal players that talk about the spirit in the camp now, they say last season, when push came to shove, they really got themselves out of trouble in a few games and kind of gritted out the points they needed. There's a bit of character about them. It kind of happened yesterday as well when they were 2 down and drew 2-2 against Napoli, who played very well on the counter up to a point. Waiting on the benches, Laurent Koscielny, who had an outstanding game yesterday and seems to be developing very quickly into a very key player for Arsenal. He's on the bench. Podolski, Giroud as well. Also the 16-year-old Gedion Zelalem. I wonder if we'll see him. There's a lot of exciting reports about him. This is Ramsey. Good turn by Cazorla. Clever, wasn't he? Oh, it's given away by Umut Balut. Ramsey, Gibbs lays it inside. Here's Theo Walcott again. He was looking to bend one for the top corner. Ramsey thought about the shot, but decided to dribble through a wall, and there's no way through. And that is half-time. Arsenal ahead. A somewhat strange goal from Theo Walcott from way out on the touchline. Mentors across, it went on and on and on, and into the corner of the net past a somewhat embarrassed Fernando Muslera. So Arsenal leading Galatasaray here by a 1-0. Arsenal leading the Turkish champions, as we hand it back to Jake Humphrey and the boys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Ian. Let us remind you, not just the Turkish champions who won their division by 10 clear points last year and had a great run in the Champions League. This time yesterday, boos at half-time at the Emirates. Certainly not the case as the players walk off now, and you can see there Kieran Gibbs making his way into the tunnel, and with Theo Walcott, Yaya, Sanogo, Cazorla all looking good. We'll analyse the first half and look forward to the second half in just a couple of seconds.